Hello, my name is Menta and welcome to the Data. Today we are going to look at um, recording transactions in the books of account. Okay, so we are going to take a question and see how to solve it. Okay, so the question is on your screens. The question says on 1st January 2022, Hadia Shikishiki Limited started business with the aim of becoming a leader in the market. The following were the business transactions for January 2022. Okay, so those are the transactions for Adia Shikishiki. You see, the requirement is that we should write up a 3-column cash book for Adia Shikishiki for January 2022. Good. So the requirement says we should write up a 3-column cash book. So first of all, we are going to write our heading or the organization's name or the business name. Then we'll come to our requirements. What is the question said we should do? Then we'll write that one to be underlined neatly. Then because it's a 3-column cash book, we should know which columns we are going to open. Okay, so as I said in the previous video that a 3-column cash book will contain the discount amount, the cash and bank column. You get it? Good. So knowing that, you will just open the 3 columns and you are good. So with this, we are going to start with the transactions one by one. So where is involving bank, you write it at the bank column. Where is involving cash, write at the cash column. And as I said, a contra entry is a transaction between what? Is between cash and bank. Okay, it's a transaction between cash and bank. Good. So whenever there is a transaction between cash and bank, we are going to record it twice. That means we record it at one cash or bank column. Then the other one go at one cash or bank column. Good. So we move on to the transaction. It says 1st January 2022, the bank had a balance of 50,000. We have CR there, which means credit. Okay. Normally a bank is supposed to have a debit balance, but with this one it's a bank overdraft. So you will see the CR there, which means that we should credit that amount, okay, at the bank column. So when we start, we just write our date, 1st January. Okay. And our balance date, which is bank 50,000. Good. Then move to the next one because it's 1st January, so that's the balance we use to start the year. Okay. And for cash, we had a balance BT of 95,000. So 1st January. $95,000. Good. We move on to January 1st. So that means January 1st there was a transaction which is deposited cash into bank. Okay, so this transaction is between cash and bank, therefore it's a contra entry, right? Good. So what is happening to cash? What is happening to bank? They are all what? Assets. And we are interested in recording the bank and what? Cash transaction. So with this one, we are going to record twice. Good. So we see that if we have cash and we deposit the cash into bank, what is going to happen to our cash? It's going to what? Decrease or reduce. You get it? Then our bank amount is going to what? Increase. So we will see that an increase in bank, which is an asset, we have to debit the bank. Then a decrease in cash, which is an asset, we have to what? Credit the cash. So when we come as January 1st, we say January 1st, it was cash that decreased. So when we come here, bank, in the name of bank, we are going to record in a cash column, which is 70,000. Good. Then we'll come here to cash, 70,000. Good. Because bank has what? Increased. Increase in assets, debit. Cash as what? Decrease. Decrease in assets, credit. Do you get it? So we move to the second bit. January 2nd. It says cash sales. Okay, so we are interested in the cash here because we are going to record only the cash and bank amount. Do you get it? We record it in the general ledgers in the rest. But this one, I think we should prepare what the 3 column cash. So that means we are interested in the cash and bank what transactions. So we are only focused on what the cash is doing here. Cash sales means we've made sales and received cash. Okay, so what is going to happen to our cash? It's going to what? Increase. Increase in cash, we are going to debit. You get it? Good. So when we come here, we will debit what? Cash. In the name of what? Sales. Date. So the date is January 2nd. And the amount is 37,000. Good. So we move to the next day. January 3rd, paid rent by check. Paid rent by check. We are interested in what the check is doing here. You get it? Good. So paid rent by check. You know that when we have check, okay, and we pay by what? We pay our rent by check. That means the check amount that we have is going to decrease. You get it? So we no more have that what 15,500 check anymore. You get it? Because we've used that check to pay rent. So that means there has been a decrease in what? Our assets, which is a bank. Okay. So we are going to record in the name of what? Rent. January 3rd. So rent 15,500. Good. We will move to the fourth. It says withdrew cash from bank for business use. Okay, so we withdrew cash from bank for business use. So what is happening to our cash? What is happening to our bank? Okay, the transaction here is between the cash and what? Bank. Contra entry. Good. So we should know what the cash is doing here and what the bank is also doing here. You get it? So if we withdraw cash from bank, that means that our bank amount is going to decrease. Then our cash amount or cash in hand is going to increase. Yeah. So now we have zero amount of cash on us. Then we withdrew money from bank. So that means the money we withdrew from bank, which is 4,000, is no more at the bank. It's relaxed. So our cash in hand has increased by 4,000, and our bank amount has decreased by 4,000. So with this, it's a contra entry, and the day was January 4th. What is decreasing? What is increasing? Bank is decreasing by 4,000. Good. Then cash is increasing by 4,000. Good. So we move to January 7th. It says receive check from Kwejo in payment of goods. Okay, so we receive checks from Kwejo in payment of goods. That means Kwejo here is actually receivable, right? Good. So Kwejo pays his debt through check. You get it? So our bank amount here is going to increase because they are interested in bank, what the check or bank is doing here. You get it? Good. So if our bank amount is going to increase in the bank, which is an asset, we are going to debit in the name of the other account here, which is credit. You get it? So the date is January 7th. So the amount here is 21,000. Because our bank amount has what increased. We receive the payment by our check. Good. Now January 10th. It says bank 18,000 of the cash held by the company. Bank 18,000 of the cash held by the company. So this one is a contra entry. It's involving a transaction that is involving the bank and what? Cash. You get it? So what we are interested in here is what the bank is doing and what the cash is doing. Okay, so we banked what? 18,000 of the cash held by the company. So we have cash in the company, then we banked those cash. Okay, that means bank here means that we kept the cash in bank. Good. So what is going to happen to our bank amount? It's going to increase. Then our cash in hand is going to decrease. Decrease in assets, credit. Increase in assets, debit. So what is increasing here? Our bank. Good. So when we come here, cash, what is the amount? 18,000. So we record at the bank column because it's increasing. The bank amount is increasing in the name of cash. What's the date? 10. So when we come here, the cash is what? Decreasing by what? 18,000. You get it? Good. So we move on to the January 17th. It says paid Gilgal for goods bought on credit for 25,000, less 5% discount. Okay. Paid Gilgal for goods bought on credit for 25,000, less 5% discount. Good. That means that we paid Gilgal. Gilgal here is our trade payable. Okay. And we paid Gilgal for the goods we bought on credit. Okay. And the amount is 25,000. And Gilgal gave us what? A discount. A discount of what? 5%. Okay. So that means that when we less the 5% from the 25,000, that's the amount we will pay to Gilgal. Okay. Good. So you see why discount is here. Because when we make payment when we make payment, that's when we are going to receive our discount. Okay. Good. If there is any discount to be received. So here the transaction is involving what? Cash. Okay, so we are interested in what cash is doing. So if we have cash and we paid Gilgal, cash here is going to decrease in assets, credit. They get it. So we are going to credit cash in the name of what? Gilgal. And the date is 17th. So Gilgal. So we are just going to calculate the 5% times what? 25,000. And we know that 10% times 25,000 is going to give us 2,500, right? So divided by 2, we are going to get 1,250. That means 5% divided by 5% multiplied by 25,000 is going to give us what? 1,250. Good. Then we subtract the 1,250 from the 25,000. Okay, because this is the discount we received and we were supposed to pay 25,000. And Gilgal, who is our trade payable or creditor, has given us discount of 1,250 because it says less 5% discount. So we receive this discount. Okay. Now we want to know the actual amount of cash that we pay. So we are going to less this from what? The 25,000. They get it. So when we less this from the 25,000, we are going to get 23,750. Yes, 23,750. So you can see that when we add this and this, we are getting the actual amount that we were supposed to pay, which is the what? 25,000. Good. Now we move on to the next one. It says paid wages in cash. Paid wages in cash. So we are interested in what the cash is doing here. Do you get it? We are interested in what the cash is doing here. When we pay wages in cash, that means that we have cash and we use that cash to pay what? Wages. So what's happening to our cash? is going to decrease, right? Decrease in cash if it's an asset, we are going to credit. Good. So what is this? 20. So credit cash in the name of what? Wages. And the amount here is 2,000. Good. Now we move to January 21. It says what fetched by what? Cash. 15,000. So we are interested in what the cash is doing. Okay. So when we have cash and we use that cash to buy fetched, that means our cash is what? Going towards decrease. Do you get it? Good. So decrease in assets, which assets we are going to credit. So when we come here, the date 21st. When we come here, we will credit cash in the name of what? Fixtures. And the amount is 15,000. Good. Do you get it? Because we use the cash what? Pay or buy the fixtures. And we know that the credit side is the payment side and the debit side is the receipt side. Good. So we move to January 22nd. It says Hasana paid the business account 30,000 by check. Less what? 10% discount. Hasana is paying as the business, okay? Her account of what? 30,000 by check. And we are giving Hasana what? 10% discount. Just like Yoga gave us 5% discount, we are also giving someone who is a trade receivable, someone who owes us 10%. You get it? Good. For the goods we sold to the person. Now, what is happening? We are interested in what is happening to the check or bank here. Good. So we are receiving more money through check. Okay, so that means our bank amount is what? Going to what? Increase. You get it? An increase in assets, we are going to debit. Good. So we are going to debit bank in the name of Hassan. But we want to know the actual discount we allow what? Hassan. You get it? Hassan is supposed to pay 30,000. Now we've given Hassan 10% discount. Okay. That means that we are going to multiply 10% by what? 30,000. You get it? And 10% times the 30,000 is going to be 3,000. So that means that we allowed a discount of 3,000 to what? Hassan. So definitely Hassan is going to do what? 27,000. You get it? The date is 22nd. Is it double S? Yes. Hasana. So it increased by 27,000. And here is the 3,000. Okay, so this is the actual amount Hasana or what? Pay. Do you get it? Good. He paid using what? Check. So that means it's our bank amount that is going to increase. Then we allow the discount. So 3,000 here for Hassan. Good. So the discount is 10% times the 30,000. We are getting 3,000 as a discount amount. That's the discount we are allowed to Hassan. Okay. So that means that if you want to find the actual amount Hassan paid, there is the 3,000 minus the 30,000, which is 27,000. When you even add this to this, you will see that the actual amount Hasana was supposed to pay is still the 30,000. You get it? Good. And we give Hasana 3,000 discount. Good. So we move on to the next one. January 23rd. It says received a loan of 42,000 cash from Ohineku. Okay, we've received a loan of 42,000 cash from Ohineku. We are interested in what our cash is doing here. So when we receive a loan, 42,000 cash from Ohineku, that means that our cash in hand or our cash amount as what? Increased by what? 42,000. Do you get it? Good. So we are going to debit cash in the name of what? Ohineku. And the date is 23rd. What's the amount? 42,000. Good. Because we received a loan and it was not by check, it was by what? Cash. So it's going to increase our cash amount. Yes, so record in the cash column in the name of what? O'Neill, because that's the other account here. Good. So we go to January 24. It says pay Honorable Lodina 10,000 by cash. Okay, so that means we have cash. Then we paid Honorable Lodina. So what's going to happen to our cash? It's going to decrease. So decrease in asset, we are going to credit. And the date is 24. So Honorable Lodina. And the amount is 10,000. Good. So there has been a 10,000 decrease in our cash. Good. Now we have January 25th. It says we drew cash to pay a premium on the life policy of the general manager. Okay, so where do we withdraw cash from? From the bank, right? Good. So let's make this simple scenario. This the bank account. Okay, this is the cash. Because we withdrew cash. Okay, good. Now it says we withdrew what? Cash. So we withdrew, that means it's from the bank, we withdrew the cash. Good. So that means that our cash is what? Going to increase by what? 30,000. Okay, 30,000. So increase in cash. We are going to what? Debit, right? We are going to debit the cash. Now it says that we withdrew from bank. So that means our bank amount is what? Going to decrease because we withdraw from the what? Bank. So decrease in our bank or decrease in assets, we are going to credit. So here we are going to credit the 30,000. Do you get it? Good. And it says, it didn't end there, it says we withdrew the cash. Okay, this will be the simple entries for withdrew the cash. Okay, you will debit the cash, then credit the bank. But it says after that we used to pay premium on the life policy of the what? General manager. And we know that premium on the life policy is what? Insurance. Because insurance is when you're able to insure the life policy of someone. You get it? So the premium is what we use the cash we withdrew to pay. Do you get it? Good. So here the other account that we introduce is what? Insurance account. Good. Do you get it? So after we withdrew the cash from bank, we took this cash to what? Pay what? Insurance. Do you get it? So we are going to what? Increase in expense. We are going to what? Debit. We paid insurance. You get it? So the amount we paid, the insurance amount we paid at increase what? 30,000. And we know that increase in expense, we have to what? Debit. So you could see that there is no more 30,000 here because we withdrew the cash from bank and we debited. Now we've also transferred that 30,000 to pay what? Premium. Do you get it? So you can see that there's no amount. So you see that when you balance this account, you are going to get what? Zero. So there's no amount left here in the cash account for this particular transaction. So you will see that the account is involving what? Bank and insurance. But you see the question didn't mention any bank here. Do you get it? The question didn't mention any bank here, but you have to know that we withdraw from the bank. And withdrew cash from bank, withdrew cash, it means credit bank, debit cash, right? Then when after we withdrew the cash and we have the cash, we use that cash to pay what? Insurance. Do you get it? And we know that when expense is increased, we have to what? Debit. The amount we pay for expense has increased by about 30,000. We have to debit. Do you get it? Now we've debited. If we have this money and we used to pay insurance, then decrease in this 30,000, we have to credit the cash account. Do you get it? Because when we withdrew it from bank, our cash amount increased by 30,000. Now we have the 30,000. Now we use the 30,000 to what? pay for life policy of the general manager. Okay, so that means that we no more have this 30,000. There will be a decrease in the cash amount again by what 30,000. So you can see that there is no amount in the cash account here. So the transaction is bank what insurance. Yes. Good. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to be interested in what's happening to the bank here. You know that the bank was decreased and insurance was increased, but we are not interested in insurance. We are interested in the bank here. Good. So if bank decrease in assets, we are going to credit. You get it? Good. So that means that the date is 25th. So 25th insurance. And the amount is 30,000. Do you get it? Because it was the bank that decreased. Okay. And so if you are recording the bank column, we have to record in the name of what? Insurance. Good. Then we move to January 27th. January 27th. It says cash sales bank. You know that cash sales is involving cash and sales. So when we make sales, we will what? Receive cash. Now cash what? Increase. So this is the scenario. We have cash here. So this is the cash account. And this is the sales account. And it says bank. That means, okay, let's finish with this. So cash sales, when we make sales, increase in our revenue, we have to credit. So we will credit sales by what? 12,000. So 12,000 here. Good. Then if we make sales and receive cash, increase in cash, we are what? Going to debit. So 12,000 here. Good. And it says after we've received the cash, we banked the cash. Okay, that means that we kept this cash in the bank, or we deposited what? This cash. You get it? That means that the bank here will be introduced, and the bank amount is going to increase. So increase in bank, we are going to debit. Okay. So this 12,000 will decrease again by 12,000. You get it? Because from the sales we had cash, our cash amount increased, we debited by what? 20,000, 12,000. Now we've used this same 12,000, we've deposited this same 12,000 into bank. So our 12,000 or cash account is going to what? Decrease by 12,000, and decrease in cash, which is an asset, we are going to credit. Do you get it? So credit that same 12,000 because it increased, we debited. Now it is decreasing because that same 12,000 has been banked. There's no more cash on us. So we are going to credit. Then we'll debit the bank amount. Do you get it? Because it's the bank which is receiving now. And there has been an increase in the bank amount. So you can see that there's no, here will be zero. So you see that the transaction is involving sales and what? Bank. Good. So we are interested in what the bank is doing here. It's what? Increase. Therefore, we are going to what? Debit. In the name of sales. Good. So when we come here, sales, the amount is 12,000. Good. Now we move on to January 28th. It says Najat paid the business by check. Okay, Najat paid the business by check. That means that Najat was made owing us, then paid the business by check. Okay, that means that we are going to receive more amounts in our bank. Okay, by check. So what is happening to our check? That's what we are interested in. Our check amount was going to increase by what? 11,000. So we record here in the name of Najat. 27th, 28th. Okay. In the name of Najat, and it's increased by 11,000. Bank. Good. Because we receive more checks. Okay, so our bank amount is going to increase. Increase in bank, we have to debit. Now it says January 29 received 31,000 from now by cash. Okay, so receive 31,000 from now by cash. So what we are going to do here is we are only interested in what cash is doing. So the cash is increasing here, so we are going to debit. You get it? And we receive from who? Now, you get it? Good. So now here we are going to debit now. I check. Okay. So the amount involved here is 31,000. 31,000. Yes, and the date is 29. Good. So we received from now by cash. So our cash amount has increased by 31,000. So we record here in the name of now. So we have 29 again. It says Ama Echa pay the account by what? Cash. So Ama Echa is doing that and has paid the account by cash. That means our cash amount is going to increase. Increase in the cash, we have to what? Debit. Good. So 29 here. What's the name? Ama Echa. And the amount involved here is 110,000 by what? Cash. Good. So that is all for this. To pay the account by cash, so we've received more cash. So we record in the cash column in the name of Ama Echan. Good. So now what we are going to do here is that we are done with what the question said we should do. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to balance what? The cash and bank. Good. So we are going to find the differences and balance them. Good. So we will see that the debit side of the cash column is greater than the credit side of the cash column. Okay. So what we are going to get here, we are going to record at what? Both sides. You get it? Okay. So let's check the amount. Okay. So totally we will see that here has 3,000. There is no balances for the discount. So we are interested in balancing the cash and bank. Good. So when we add these together, we are going to get 319,000. 319,000. When we add the bank together, we are going to get 159,000. Good. Then, so we are going to put these at both sides, okay? Because that's the bigger amount. The cash column here is greater than what? The credit side. The bank here is greater than what? The credit side. So we are going to record the totals at both sides and find the difference. Okay, so the difference will be here at what? Balance sheet. You get it. So here too, we are going to get so 31st. I know that the balance CD will be here because the debit side is greater than the what? Credit side. So when we know that here is 1,250. Okay, so we are going to repeat both the totals at what? Both sides, 319,000 and 159,000. So how do we get our balance sheet? How do we get our balance sheet? So to get our balance sheet, we are going to add all these and subtract from this. Okay. So we are going to add all these and subtract from this. That's when we are going to get the difference. So you see that when we add the difference to this, we are getting this. So always the bigger side or the highest amount will be recorded at what? Both sides. So in case we have this cash column to be greater than the debit side of the cash, we are going to record the debit total amount at the cash column at both sides. You get it? It's not always that you are going to see the cash and bank here always greater than the cash and bank here, or the cash and bank here always greater than the cash and bank here. One can be great here, then the bank will be less. Then the bank can be high here and the cash will be less. You get it? So you always have to make your calculations and know which side is there. You get it? So now we are going to subtract this from this. Then our balance sheet is going to be 180,250 for the cash. 180,250 for the cash. Okay. Then for our bank column, we are going to get 59,500. Okay, good. So that's our balance CD. Good. So if there was space, okay, I would bring this one forward as balance B, okay, at this side, because when the balance B is here, we bring it forward here. When we calculated and it happened to be that the balance CD was here, we will bring it forward to the credit side negative. So if there was space, April 1st, because February 1st, because this is the January 31st. So February 1st, balance be here, then I'll write the same amount here. Do you get it? Good. So that's all for this question. That's what the question said we should what? Do. Good. So I hope you've understood it very well. The next time we meet, we'll solve more examples under this size. My name is Mensa Isaac. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share this video so that others can also benefit from it. Thank you very much.